Hi. I have a few slides. They're just fun pictures, so no need to pay close attention, but just a little vibrancy here. So I do want to talk a little bit about why I think Cincinnati is a great place for your life and for your profession. So let's have a little inspiration first from Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, the last stanza of Catawba Wine and the song of the vine. This greeting of mine, the winds and the birds shall deliver to the Queen of the West in her garlands, dressed on the banks of the beautiful river. That is a love letter to Cincinnati. It used to be on the splash pad right out here at Fountain Square, and it's in the stairwell at City Hall, right below this beautiful stained glass window of the Queen of the West. I'm not from Cincinnati. I went to the University of Cincinnati for law school, and then I went and did a judicial clerkship in Kentucky and came back and started my practice here. My husband and I bought a condo just over there on 4th Street, right across from KMK, where we both worked. And when we had our son Jack in 2006, we were pretty dumb for a lot of reasons, mainly because we didn't know anything about children. But maybe it was dumb luck that we never even considered moving outside of downtown. And then, we made ourselves a little nursery in our cool modern condo. And when Luke came along 2 years later, we were a full-fledged downtown family. So our children grew up downtown, and it's not that crazy of a concept today, but back then we were a pretty rare breed. It worked for our lives. We were busy litigators and young parents and volunteers on boards and for youth sports, and proximity and lack of a commute really helped us keep it all together, and we had just a lot of fun. We went to 1 million Reds games and saw shows at the Airnoff and Music Hall. Our kids grew up coming right here to Fountain Square for music and dancing at nights, or we go to Smale Park on the river or Washington Park. And we were regulars at Via Vitae and Nada. We could meet up with colleagues and friends for coffee and happy hour, and it just we weren't missing much of the action at home. So my husband stayed at KMK, and I did a lot of jobs. I went to the public sector. I was at the city. I also worked at the Port Authority for a while as their first general counsel. I went back to the city. I went to FC Cincinnati, and now I'm at 3CDC. All of those jobs are within 1 square mile. So I'm telling you all that to establish a little credibility, because I live here, I work here, I raised my kids here, and doing so gave me the perspective that is just the heart of what I want to tell you today, which is this. There's no other city in the world, and I mean in the world, where you can have so much. Professional opportunity, affordability, livability, accessibility, culture, access. It's just, we have it all. And our city's leaders across sectors have delivered unparalleled civic assets to us in Cincinnati for over 250 years. Sports, arts and culture, academic, parks and rec, you name it, we have it. So I'm going to spend a little time. Some of you are city historians, so just try not to correct me if I'm wrong. Let's just go with it. Unlike other Rust Belt cities, ours is growing. Cincinnati metro area is over 2 million. We are home to 8 Fortune 500 companies. That is more per capita than any place in the country. We are number 1 in Ohio for startup activity and a top 10 market for future tech growth. We have a really strong business culture here. And it provides outsized professional opportunities for a city of our size. It's also laid the foundation for our philanthropic and civic investments. In the arts, we have the oldest symphony and ballet west of the Appalachian Mountains. We have the 2nd oldest opera. We are home to the nationally ranked and internationally renowned College Conservatory of Music at UC. Cincinnati itself is an art gallery because of all the murals that Artworks has put throughout the city. And a lot of this is possible because of ArtsWave, which is the nation's oldest fine arts fund. 7 professional sports teams, including the nation's oldest baseball team, the Cincinnati Reds. And each August, we host the Cincinnati Open, which is the nation's oldest professional tennis tournament held in its city of origin. And I'm going to tell you, the great outdoors, we are no slouch here. We have 5 rivers covering nearly 6,000 stream miles, home to Ohio River Paddle Fest, which is the largest paddling event in the country. It's like thousands of canoes and kayaks are just showing up on the Ohio River. Okay, we have hundreds of miles of hiking trails, on-road bike lanes, mountain bike trails, the Little Miami Scenic Trail, which is the 3rd longest paved trail in the country. We have 306 parks in the city limits. 88% of Cincinnatians live within a 10-minute walk of a park. 14% of our land area is Parks and Rec. We have the greenest and 2nd oldest zoo in the country. And I just want to talk to you for a second about the Cincinnati Observatory. It was founded in 1842, the birthplace of American astronomy. It contains one of the oldest working telescopes in the world. And we have Findlay Market, where I spend a lot of time on Sunday afternoons, 2nd oldest public market in the country. And to close out summer, we have Oktoberfest Cincinnati, which is the nation's largest Oktoberfest. So that's a lot of stuff that's been around for a long time. It's pretty great. What have we done recently? Well, I'm here to tell you that Cincinnati is the home of the possible, where you can take your dreams and turn them into reality tomorrow. We have continued to invest in really big ideas here. We see what could be, and we make possible what is hard and difficult and improbable. So just a few of those successful civic and business partnerships. Blink, the largest public light art and projection mapping festival in the country, created in 2017, administered by the Chamber. It's downtown Cincinnati, it's Kentucky, and it is all of our most iconic buildings and public spaces and murals. And it is awesome. It is amazing. There will be some pictures of it here. It's the Cincinnati Preschool Promise, a nonprofit organization that aims to ensure that all children have access to high-quality preschool. The program was passed by voters here in 2016. That makes us one of the first cities in the country to provide preschool for 3- and 4-year-olds. FC Cincinnati, Cincinnati's Major League Soccer team. That was a big idea that became a reality because Carl Linder III partnered with Jeff Birding to start a USL franchise in 2016 that became an MLS franchise in 2019. They built a brand new big stadium right there in the West End. So the riots of 2001, that marked a pretty low point for us. But this city did a lot of soul searching. And the city government fundamentally changed policing here in our city. And now we are a model for police community relations. And 3CDC. How could we talk about the pivotal role in this city of public-private partnerships if we didn't talk about 3CDC? The riots I just mentioned, Ground Zero was over the Rhine, just a few blocks north. We were in law school. That's a neighborhood that was settled by German immigrants in the 1830s. It is the largest, most intact urban historic district in the United States and has the largest collection of 19th century Italianate architecture. But in 2001, it was a neighborhood that had suffered decades of disinvestment. Blight, vacancy, abandonment, that was what was going on in Over the Rhine. But turning a crisis into an opportunity, our civic leaders and the corporate community came together to resource and create 3CDC to revitalize the downtown urban core. And today, with $2 billion invested, 3CDC has transformed Over the Rhine and downtown into an urban destination. These were audacious projects, demanding a great deal of time and resources to establish and maintain. But our city's history is that we have continuously demonstrated our willingness to seek out big ideas and turn them into our reality. So why has any of this even been possible? Back to the Fortune 500 companies, because our city consistently punches above its weight in business and professional arena. While its market size is modest compared to the coasts, we are home to an extraordinary concentration of headquarters and enterprises, including Procter & Gamble and Kroger and GE. And this density of leadership, Fortune 500 leadership and Brand development expertise and financial services creates an ecosystem where talent and capital and decision-making authority are unusually concentrated. For professionals, that means access to high-level projects, global scale impact, and cross-industry collaboration, which would typically require living in a much larger city. But what truly sets us apart is the accessibility of the people who lead those enterprises. In a lot of other places, corporate leaders can feel distant. Here, our executives serve on nonprofit boards. They show up at civic events. They're actively mentoring emerging leaders. The professional community is connected in a way that makes relationship building organic and meaningful. And it's not unusual for a young entrepreneur or a young lawyer or a mid-career professional to find that a senior executive or a founder is only a cup of coffee away. For attorneys, it gets even better. The significant corporate presence throws off complex work. The Sixth Circuit and the District Court are a half a block away. That means we attract weighty litigation, and it gives regional and national firms a reason to locate here. We also have a tight, small-knit legal community. A smaller bar means happier lawyers. Have you ever noticed that large city attorneys can be hard to deal with? Well, the reason is that they know the person sitting across the table from them they may never run into again. But that's not the case here. Reputations stick. We have to practice with more professionalism and cordiality because the person that you treat poorly today could be the person you are asking for an extension next year. It could be your neighbor. It could be the parent of a child, your child's classmate. It could be a member of the bar association board. We have the dream right here. We have big, complex work in a small pond. So let's get back to the top and review my premise. Does Cincinnati uniquely offer us professional opportunities, affordability, livability, culture, and access all in one place? Let us consider the boomerangs. People who grow up here, go off on a young person adventure. Maybe it's college and maybe it isn't. These are the people who could vote with their feet. And yet, they come back. And while they are out there in the world living their big lives, they are talking about Geta and chili and a Zips hamburger. Oh, and their high school. The traditions they have to make it back for: opening day in Blink and Oktoberfest, the Flying Pig and the Festival of Lights. Maybe those boomerangs are your parents or you or your kids. And what they come back for, why they come back to this big community of Cincinnati flag waving people, is because they want to become who we are and who our leaders have been since our founding in 1819. We are, as Anna Quinlan says, a community of people who want to do well, but we also know that without doing good, doing well will never be enough. It is our sense of responsibility and purpose. It is our creativity. It is our grit. It is our drive. It is our legacy. And really, it's all about love for future generations, for the city, the Queen of the West, and for each other. That's all I have. Thank you.